to Q&A sessions. So if anybody has questions about the content, the intent of the video, the purpose behind it, the making of the video, feel free to ask away.
Well, I think it's an excellent opportunity. And isn't it also available now on TV3 locally?
Yeah, I think Shirley shared it. I haven't been able to find the schedule to watch it. I've been wanting to watch it on TV3, but I've heard from various people that it has been airing. And if I can find out a time or a semi-schedule, I can send out an email and let people know when it's on. But yeah, so it's exciting to know that it's being watched on TV, and I think we have 200 views or something like that on YouTube right now. And it's only been up for about a month.
Well, it's just an excellent effort. You guys are to be congratulated.
Thank you, Bill.
I'd like to comment that the editing efforts, I think, really paid off, because I saw one of the earlier versions, and compared to the earlier versions, this is very much better.
Thank you. Johnny or Tom, do you guys want to share a little bit about the editing?
Well, it was a long process. I sat down with Johnny and kind of said, "Here, put this here," and he miraculously put that there, and it was great fun watching how he does it. I don't know, Johnny, can you add to that? I mean, it was just one of those where it took, I forget, 2 or 3 days altogether, where we just went through, you know, section by section, shot by shot, and matched the shot to the script and put in the graphics and timed it. And there was probably more work in editing than there was in anything else.
Right. Well, with anything, the majority of the work is always done in the editing, like the editing than in shooting. But I think what made this more challenging is, for me, I'm not a naturalist, and so since everything in the script like had a shot to go with something specific that was being talked about, and I don't know what any of those things are. So like I didn't know what detritus was or what cordgrass, or I wouldn't have been able to tell you what any of those things were. Yeah, I had to go back out with, like, I got a lot of B-roll like the first round with Amber, but then Thomas said, like, oh, there's like a lot of specific things we need. So then he went back with me and we got a ton more shots than I'd gotten initially. And then each of those shots had to go in a specific place and so Thomas was really instrumental in like letting me know where different things had to go, because I couldn't do that on my own.
But you know now what cordgrass is, don't you?
I think I could identify it.
Pop quiz.
Yeah, after that, you should know. It was curious. I have to say that the day we went out there, all the birds were hiding. I swear there was not a bird to be found, except for the clapper rail shot, the Savannah sparrow shot, and the osprey. Those were the only 3 birds we saw that day.
All the rare ones.
Yeah. Everything else was, they took the day off. They were coming. I think Jerry has a question.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Jerry?
He's muted. He's getting there.
There we go.
Was there a part of the earlier version that had you mentioned the Belding Savannah Sparrow, and was that in this version, or did I miss it?
We mentioned it, yeah. It had a couple shots in there. I think it was towards the tail end of the bird section, but we had the Belding Savannah Sparrow in there.
Yeah.
I also encourage you to watch it on YouTube. as well.
Yeah, and I'll be sending out the link to this one again once I send out the recording with this Q&A session.
Probably watching it on Zoom, so probably some shots got skipped over too.
Could be. I apologize again for my internet. Jerry, did you have a question?
Yes, yes. Am I unmuted now?
You're good, yeah.
Great. Was the script written first? I assume it was, but while you were filming, were there things that you filmed that then you said, this is really something we want to put in this presentation that was not in the script? So were there surprises that you put in the final version that weren't anticipated from the script?
I wouldn't say anything unanticipated, but I was really excited. It was the first day Johnny and I had gone out filming. And I look over the walk bridge and there's a
rail, right?
a rail right there sitting right in front of us. And so I think for me, it was just the excitement of finding the things that we were looking for and finding the things that we were talking about. Like Tom said, of sometimes, you go out and there's not a bird to be seen. So I think for me, it was less of finding things and like, oh, we forgot to add this, because we pulled basically all the information in the script from the Naturalist Guide. So we tried to be as comprehensive and inclusive of as much information as we could. So I feel like we pretty comprehensively covered it. Tom did a great job filling in the blanks that I left. Yeah, I think just being able to go out and find the things that we were talking about and finding the buildings of Anna Sparrow, and yeah, just being able to see the things that we were seeing, and also seeing it through Johnny's perspective of, I've studied this for years and I've learned through Bolsa Chica over the past year. So kind of seeing it through Johnny and Jen's eyes, seeing it fresh again, was really cool.
Sound sometimes is a problem there in filming at the reserve. Car noise, airplane noise, was sound an issue?
Oh, yes. The first time, because Amber mentioned we did voiceover multiple times. The first time we tried to do voiceover all there on the spot, that was not going to happen. Like, there was so much wind noise. So then we did it again one time, like recording it, and we recorded sound like inside a car instead, still on the spot. But then we actually went the third time around where we wanted Amber to speak a little more slowly. We did it in a more controlled environment.
Yeah, it took a few times, but sound was definitely wind was the biggest challenge, I would say, because we found a relatively quiet spot away from PCH. Although we did encounter a few people, we would have to stop and wait for people who were walking past to go about their business. And there was one time I was in the middle of a sentence and somebody shouted something at us. So that was always fun. But yeah, sound on site was definitely because we were trying to go for authentic, I think, of we could hear the birds in the background, but at that point it just wasn't worth it to fight the wind. And so we just went for an indoor recording.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was the final runtime for the video? I didn't notice that.
I believe it was about 14 minutes. Let me double check. 14 minutes and 14 seconds. Oh. Sorry, family. Yeah, so 14 minutes. We were hoping for about 20, but I think all in all considering, I think it's a pretty decent video, and we can always add to it when we do the virtual tours. But
is there anything that you left out because it was either there was a sound problem, the birds weren't there, the plants weren't there, that you wanted in it, but for one reason or another it didn't get in the video?
That was why we used still shots.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's what I meant. The day we were there, there was not a pelican to be seen. It was the weirdest thing. So fortunately, Kim let us use some of his shots and his duck shots. Obviously, we did that during the summer, so there weren't any ducks, and there were a few shorebirds, fortunately, but no ducks. And that day, not a single pelican. Weirdest thing.
Can you hear me at this
Yes.
point? I've been having some audio problems, and I think I can finally get in.
We can hear.
Good. I'm under the impression that the video may be available anytime on our own website. Is that the case?
Yes.
So,
Live.
so people don't have to find it anywhere else. We can always direct them right to our website, right?
Yes,
Right.
we have Tom set up a link under our field trips little drop down menu.
Well, that could be far easier for a number of folks than having to find the city's local channel,
Mhm.
I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially for people like me in Long Beach.
Yeah, so it's definitely available through our website. We also have included an educator's guide to go with it. And that one I've been finalizing with some NGSS standards for elementary through high school students. So both the video is embedded in our website, and then also educators have the opportunity to use basically a pre-made assignment for their students with questions that chronologically follow the video, and then also some free answer thinking questions and an essay question to get the students engaged.
Good.
One other thought, I maybe you're already doing this, but having the docents take this to other smaller groups and play the video and then have a question and answer period on their own, so that you could expand the use of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what our education committee is working on, to where we haven't got the details worked out, but we're got a couple of concepts to where a naturalist can be at the wetlands. A teacher can show the video in a classroom, and a naturalist can be at the wetlands to have kind of an adjunct question and answer period and talk about what's there. Or a naturalist could be at home and talk about their experiences at the wetlands, that sort of thing. So yeah, we're working on different ways.
Any other questions?
You're muted. Karen.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Silly question, sort of. When you're feeding the animals that pink or blue stuff,
Okay, so wasn't feeding, but sorry, continue your question, but I want to. What was the rest of your question? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I saw you put something on a paper clip, and then the next picture is the animal holding something pink or blue, I can't remember, and eating something. So
Yeah.
I was wondering, what was that?
So that was again on our first day of recording. Johnny and I were walking, and I look over, and there's a little ground squirrel. I go, "Oh, look, it's eating something!" And I look closer, it's eating a Nerf dart.
Oh.
And so I ended up, Johnny had already been filming, so he zoomed in on the squirrel, and then I was like, I can't just let this happen. So I shooed it off and picked up the pieces, and that's what I was holding, was the pieces of the foam that it was munching on. Although I guess I was like poking it with a stick because it was just like disintegrating in my hand. So it had been there for so long. Although I guess, no, I mean, from my perspective, I knew what had happened. I knew I had taken it out of this animal's possession, I guess, and kept it from eating plastic. But yeah, I guess that doesn't quite translate if you see it in my hand and then next shot it's eating it.
Yeah, it's like it should be reversed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's a good way to show people what happens when they throw trash.
Yeah, and that was like a big thing for me of like we know, like, just from research and videos and documentaries of these animals with trash in their stomachs, but it was kind of another reminder to see it happen firsthand of this animal eating trash.
Yeah, and that's a good one to show for sure.
Yeah. So, and I mean, squirrels are charismatic, so it'll if it gets people's emotions, then that's good.
That probably would be easier to see too on like a smoother playback too. It's probably kind of hard to see it over Zoom too. Like
yeah. It's a little easier to see it when you're watching the video on YouTube than Zoom. And again, I apologize for quality.
Oh no, it's a good concept.
Yeah. But yeah, good catch. Do we have any more questions? If not,
Just to thank you.
oh. Yeah, thank you guys. It's been a crazy journey of getting this. I mean, Tom knows, getting this from an idea in our heads to actually getting it done and sending it to our educators and having it available for people to use. So it's been very cool. Yeah, and that kind of leads me into the next thing. I wanted to kind of round out the year of asking if anyone wanted to share a positive note from 2020, something that you either experienced or saw or did or accomplished that you're either proud of or you're excited about. Because I've always found that reflecting on things that I'm thankful for or excited about kind of help me have hope for the future that there will be more things like that. So if anyone wants to be brave, volunteer. And
Well, I could comment on, I'm happy that I saw the drop tower at Seal Beach Wildlife Refuge go down a couple of days ago. This has been a 10-year project to try and get that thing out, because it was a refuge for the raptors, and they were wiping out the least terns and some of the other endangered bird species over there. So with that down, it makes it much more difficult for them to feed on the least terns. So that was quite positive.
that's great.
I think, am I unmuted?
You're good.
I think the absence of students going through the flow program led me to memories of earlier in the year when we did have school groups coming through. And sometimes if you have a fair number, it's just one group and then the next group, and you don't really realize the joy that you're bringing to them. And so now that we're not doing that, I'm thinking back on how really nice it was and will be in the future. But this time has become a reflective time to kind of see what our flow activities with the school groups, the benefits not only to the schools, but to ourselves as naturalists.
Yeah, that's great, Jerry.
I think too, what lessons we have gleaned from this year have been to kind of shake us out of complacency and find different ways of doing things that have been, in some cases, very effective, not in just this group, but other groups that I have been involved with, we have found that we don't have to be shut down and shut in, and that there are ways of getting information and ways of getting connectivity out there that we hadn't really thought about. So I think that's been a great boon, and I think it's something that going forward, even down the road, we're going to be able to utilize some of these concepts.
Yeah, that's something. Oh, sorry.
I was just, am I on? I can't tell.
Yes.
You're good, Kim.
Oh, good. Okay. It was so interesting to see that during the first lockdown, because there was such a small amount of traffic, how quickly the environment responded and how rapidly our air quality improved. So it's a beautiful thing to see that the earth can respond quickly, and that in spite of the fact that we've done so much damage, there's a good probability that in the future we'll see more healing as people start to appreciate climate change more and sea level rise and get on board with these concepts. So it's not all lost into the future. There will be some bright days ahead.
There's hope yet.
Absolutely.
I wish we had some way of quantifying the number of people that actually utilize Bolsa Chica, either from PCH and the walk bridge or from the Warner Avenue entrance or coming in through Brightwater. Because what I've found with this COVID crisis that we've all dealt with this past 9 months or 10 months, the number of people that are still enjoying and celebrating the Bolsa Chica has continued. Every time I've been out there, there's still, lots and lots of people. And for that, we can be really proud of what we've done to make sure that it's there and that we've been able to share it with the community through these efforts with the virtual tour and even the 20-minute video that we did way back 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been really cool to see. So I drive past Bolsa Chica on my way to and from my other job. And so it's been really awesome to see people out there with their families, exploring the space that we've been able to have for them. And kind of going back to what Judy was saying of we've had to pivot, but I think we've done so in a way that's been really beneficial, not just to our organization, but to the community in general. And just being able to see, yeah, we can make growth happen and we can change as needed. Yeah, so that was a cool thing to see.
We wouldn't have had the webinars if we didn't have COVID. And it's not only our local people, but we had, I think it was the phytoplankton person from South Africa. We've had a variety of speakers and topics, and we would have had some, but we wouldn't have had the number of different speakers had we not had COVID. So again, we've pivoted and adapted to these circumstances.
And even sorry, Marty, go ahead.
When we get back to meeting in person, keep these webinars going as well, so that for the people that can't make it to the meetings, they can still see what we're doing on the Zoom type system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I do want to try and continue is our virtual presence, even after we go back to in-person stuff once it's safe. I think it would be really great to be able to continue to do, outreach beyond just our little bubble here in Orange County, I want to be able to continue reaching people who might not have direct access, whether that be through webinars or if we do a live stream of naturalist nights down the line, continuing the virtual tours. I see a lot of great potential for Amigos to be virtual and have an online presence.
Yeah, I can just see us, you know, when we get back to like weekly flow meetings, if we continue the webinars once a month, updating all you guys about the cool stuff we saw last month in the microscope, and you know, what if the dolphins are out or whatever, you know. I want to say that I'm super impressed with how we have handled this over the last, you know, 6+ months. You know, and then on top of the education committee also, you know, in the last few months, I feel like we've done so much, and it's gonna benefit us long after this is over. So I'm really, really excited to see that happen, honestly.
Oh, and I think too, you know, this is basically we're beaming at local, but wouldn't it be neat if a classroom in Nebraska could have a virtual tour of the wetlands?
That's what I'm saying. We're thinking big picture here. And I'm very excited for one.
And it's very doable.
Yeah. So who knows where we could be reaching out to.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, like Bill or Nancy, when you guys head back to, you know, your other states, you could continue to interact and be a part of our program even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Working remotely has its benefits.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say I'm really thankful that I came on this project coming from a non-naturalist perspective. Haven't studied any of this stuff, but I've lived in Huntington Beach my whole life, and I've been by the wetlands. I've driven by it numerous times, and I'm embarrassed to say I've actually, before this project, I never actually stepped foot on the wetlands, and so this has kind of opened my eyes to think, because like I didn't really pay attention to it. It looked ordinary to me, but then Amber and Thomas showing me around, like it's been really cool to see what everything is and what the importance of it actually is, and how it benefits our ecosystem. So I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you, Johnny.
Welcome to the group.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that there are a lot of folks, Jonathan, that are in a similar situation, that every once in a while they may stop to use the restroom and say, "Oh, what's this?" You know, they've not, they drive by it every day and on their, you know, way to and from work or whatever, and they never stop. So you're not alone, but we've got a job ahead of us to educate everybody about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sad I haven't actually stepped foot on the wetlands way earlier, because it's a really cool thing. So really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Well, and it's different every time you go too. You never know what you're going to see when you go there. It's beautiful, the beauty of it. One of the beauties.
That's really so true, because today we showed Melissa Lobo around. She has been on board for, I think she said 5 or 6 weeks, and she hadn't been where we showed her today. And she was just in awe, like, wow, that is so cool. We saw a lot of birds, and she just thought it was magical, and she was genuinely impressed. So I feel like Bolsa Chica has so much to offer everyone from all levels, all ages, all ethnicities, groups, everybody. It's just, and like I said, it always changes. So there's always something there. Whenever time I go, I see something new. I learn something new. Yeah, I'm so proud of all that we do.
One other thought I just had is that this is a great start, but now maybe you could think about doing some more specific profiles that could be follow-ups to this on one little tiny component of the whole wetlands community and start building up a library of all kinds of videos like this. That would keep Jonathan at work.
Paid. That's actually a hope of mine is if this video and this project is successful, we're able to get grant money where we can create a series like this, and we can focus in on a certain aspect on just the endangered species or just the pollution aspect or just sea level rise or whatever that looks like. Hopefully we'll be able to do those down the line and keep Johnny occupied.
I can pay my bills.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the hope down the line, is be able to share that, and then also to continue to share that with students so that they're not just seeing the same video year to year, but that they can focus in and teachers can have something to share with them continually. Yeah. Way ahead of you, Marty. Awesome. Does anyone else want to share? If not, I do have some closing words, but
I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
Just like with COVID and everything and it being a hard time, it did bring me to this organization, and I feel like I probably wouldn't have been involved because you guys needed someone, for these virtual things, and it's kind of cool how that meshed in and introduced me to this organization. And I met all of you guys and learned about the beautiful Bolsa Chica. So I'm really, it's light at the end of the tunnel, pretty much.
And we're so glad to have you, Jen. You've been awesome.
Very happy.
Yeah.
Love your Instagram posts.
I know. Jen is amazing with our social media. She's a wizard. Awesome. Alrighty. I don't know if everybody has a drink on hand or a cup of water, but I wanted to end the night with a little toast. So if you have a cup of water or a water bottle or something. So December marks a year of me being the program manager for Bolsa Chica's Flow program, which has flown by. And it's just crazy to me to think that a year ago we were trying to write grants so that we could do a surveillance sort of project on the flow within the wetlands and of the water. And we were doing water samples and just kind of going week to week. And I could never have imagined how wild and crazy this year would have been for us. Nor could I have imagined all the obstacles that 2020 would throw our way. But I'm honored to have been able to have the opportunity to serve with the Amigos and to serve our community at large. And it's been amazing to, like we've all said, to watch everybody step up and for us to take charge and respond in the way that we have to the challenges that we faced. We went from operating at full operation to basically nothing within a month, and then picked ourselves up and got back to work within the next month. And so it was just amazing to see us meeting the needs of our educators and our students, and then also keeping one another engaged and involved and invested. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your investment, your passion, your dedication, and your energy. And I look forward to everything that we will do in 2021. So to the Amigos and to Bolsa Chica.
Well said, Amber.
Cheers.
Very well
To
said.
the Amigos.
Cheers to the Amigos.
Good job, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Amber, thank you so much for everything that you've done this year. Honestly, you are.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Jen, Mel, Nancy, Jerry, Annie, Marty, Judy, Kim, Brian. I see you there. Gwen, another Nancy, and Bill. And then everyone who might have seen, Jody is here. She is Johnny's mom. Hi, Jody.
Mom.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for making this year. Hi, Jody.
Hey, great job. I enjoyed it immensely.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for making this year worth it and for just all your involvement. It's been a wild ride, but I know we'll pull through.
My friend Jacob, he also joined us.
Hi, Jake.
Everything's great. Good job, guys.
Thank you. Awesome. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you again so much, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday and a safe New Year's. Keep your eyes out. I'll send out the recording of all of the questions and everything, along with a link to the video through our website. And yeah, we'll be having a meeting sometime in January. So hopefully we'll be able to continue this on until, at least until we can meet in person again. So
Great.
fingers
Thank
crossed
you.
for that vaccine, you know.
Great job.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amber.